All right, so we just finished setting up the front end of your product, and you've got it figured out who your customers are and what your proposition is going to be and how you're going to reach out to your customers and build relationships with them. And so now it's time to start setting up the backstage. And the backstage is all about powering your proposition and getting it out to your customers and creating sales. So this is the back end of the show here. Behind every great idea is a great machine. And so it's important to make sure that this back end is finely tuned just as much as the front end is. If you don't have a powerful back end, you're not going to get anywhere. It's just not going to happen. And you need to have all of that stuff going into play. So success doesn't come from the greatest proposition. It comes from the greatest back end. I've seen plenty of people who had great propositions who didn't have the resources or the partnerships or the activities behind it in order to get it out there. And it doesn't matter how great your proposition is if you can't deliver on it. So this is all about running like a finely tuned jet turbine. You want it to be huge, you want liftoff, and you want it to be a special experience for everyone. So we're going to start with on the back side in the key resources, and we're going to talk about what are the 4 key resources that we need to develop. The first thing is the property. So what is the property that we need to develop? This is going to be your websites, your product, your machinery, your distribution, any kind of stuff like that. So think about what property you will need in order to make this happen. You're going to need to set up accounts for social media, build your products, set up accounts for your website. Do you have a physical product that you're going to need to distribute? Or are you going to be using Amazon? So you're going to need to set up an account there. Those are all examples. The next thing is going to be your human resources. And these are going to be things like customers, suppliers, investors, partners, etc. So what are you going to need there as far as human resources to get this stuff done? And I put these in the level of importance, but not necessarily the level, it's not going to be step by step, this is what you need, because sometimes what you're going to be looking for is the intellectual resources of someone else. So this is knowledge, intellectual property, team resources, which is bring somebody on your team that knows something, outsourcing for the intellectual knowledge so that you don't need to worry about it. All of that stuff is extremely important and easy to put into play. And then lastly, it's financial. And financial is going to be sales, your purchase orders, royalties, all that kind of stuff. So that's going to be the resources that you need to develop. The next thing is the key activities that you're going to need to do. And again, I want you to take a quick look here and look at the proposition and look to the right of the proposition and realize that the customer relationships and the distribution are what is between your customers and your propositions. They actually are between it, even in the physical world. Your key activities are going to be about bridging that gap. Okay? So it's going to be drawing a line, the customer relationships and the distribution. So think about it in this way. What are the activities that we need? Product development, business development, marketing, knowledge, all of that stuff is stuff that we need to do. Writing articles, doing social media, building your product, gaining partners, talking to people, using Twitter to reach out to people. These are all super, super important things to be doing. And then the last one is going to be partners. And your partners are going to be people like your suppliers, so website suppliers, people like GoDaddy that do your hosting, suppliers of content, your hosts, marketing partners, people that you can reach out to that are going to help you to bridge that gap, and early evangelists. Early evangelists, your first customers, are going to be your biggest partnerships. You need to get in close with them and be talking to them frequently. And if you haven't noticed already, I would love to have you set up an appointment with me. And you'll see the link at the end of the next video or here on the right-hand side of the screen. I'm not sure which one it's going to go to yet. But at the end of this, once you put together your business model, I want you to go ahead and reach out to me. Let's set up a 15-minute appointment, a 5-minute appointment. Let's go over or even just email me your business model, and I'll get you my feedback on your business model in exchange for just being able to kind of take a peek at it, get to talk to you, get to see things. And here's why. I want to know what you're experiencing. I want to know what your questions are. I want to be able to solve those questions for you. And mostly, it's about making sure that I get the knowledge and you get the knowledge that's necessary for both of us. So feel free to reach out to me at the end of any of these videos. If you've gone through and you've filled out all this stuff and you email me the homework and you want to set up an appointment, I am more than willing to talk to you for 10 or 15 minutes. Okay. So that's going to be that. And I just want to say that it's all about the money, or all but the money is done here. So it's time to figure out how much you need money and how much it's going to cost you to put all this stuff together. And we'll talk about that in the next video.